The story kicks off with an arrow piercing straight through the monster's eye. The young archer effortlessly took the monster down. Immediately after, he leaped off its body and let out a sigh. This was Yan, a level 93 archer. He received a notification. He had defeated a goblin and gained 597 experience points. Yan pondered for a moment, then decided to claim about 100,000 gold before taking a rest. He shouldered his bow again and ventured deeper into the fringes of the area. A cloud of dense smoke drifted by, and from within it, a grotesque, two-headed monster emerged. Upon seeing Yan, it roared, as if to display its power. It towered over him like an elephant to an ant. Before Yan could react, the two-headed monster lunged, then thwack, 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 slammed its spiked mace down where he stood. Very quickly, Yan had to use his auxiliary spell, Flash, teleporting behind it to dodge the devastating blow. He regained his balance, thinking, damn, lucky I used haste in time to survive. If I'd taken a hit from that mace, as huge as a cannon, I'd have been sent to the afterlife for sure. Just then, a notification popped up. Haste skill duration. 1 minute remaining. Seeing this, Yan cursed. But before he could fully recover, the monster charged at him again, intent on attacking. He was still agile enough to dodge, and he knew he had to defeat it within that minute. Yan glanced around, then quickly ran to create distance. As the monster advanced step by step, he thought, I only have one trap left, huh? No other choice. Let's do this. After setting the trap, Yan shouted loudly, damn it, you overgrown, stupid, loyal, defective, glitchy, jealous beast, Daddy's over here. If you've got the guts, come and get me. Without hesitation, the two-headed monster leaped and lunged at Yan. He thought, I have to time this perfectly. If I'm off by even 0.01 seconds, I'm screwed. Just as the monster's crab-crushing mace slammed into the ground, Yan timed it perfectly and jumped up. And just like that, the monster's heavy blow triggered the lightning trap Yan had set, electrocuting it until it was completely paralyzed, frozen stiff as if hit by Daoshan's second skill. Yan didn't hesitate, immediately seizing the opportunity and drawing his bow. Simultaneously, the system announced the activation of the advanced stun trap. Target will be stunned for approximately 5 seconds and become weakened. Holy crap, stunned for 5 seconds? What's the point of even fighting? Just kick it in the nuts and it's dead, damn it. Back to Yan, he seized the chance, yelling, Die by daddy! Die by daddy! Skills activated. Enhanced critical strike, snipe, focus, all active. Yan didn't forget to jump and fire. Thwack, 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 thwack. Each arrow flew with lightning speed. Thwack! It pierced through the monster. The blow was so powerful, it sent the monster flying several hundred meters. After that, there was no after that. Yan had defeated the two-headed goblin and gained a whopping 98,500 experience points. He calmly walked over to his spoils. Let Daddy see what I got from this one. He had received Goblin Warrior's Greaves and Goblin Warrior's Boots. Yan's jaw dropped. Oh my god, what kind of insane luck is this? It's like catching someone bathing. Getting just one piece from the Goblin Warrior set is already as rare as winning the lottery, and I got 2. It really wasn't a waste listening to my Lucky Charm song every day. If I converted this to cash, it would be at least 5 million, enough to support Theanon's baby. I've probably used up all my luck for the month. But that wasn't all. The next item to appear left him even more flabbergasted. A crystal. The Pill of Mull. At this point, all he could do was repeatedly cry out for his parents. He couldn't believe what had just appeared before him. The world-famous VR game, Kylan, had been released half a year prior. Currently, it boasted over 10 million players. It was an incredibly popular game, dominating the entire video game industry. When Jinung had managed to get a 10 million won VR capsule to play Kylan, using tuition money from his parents and all his savings from part-time jobs, everyone had called him crazy. As for Yan, even though he started playing 2 months after the game's release, he had leveled up his majestic, clumsy archer character in just 4 months of monster hunting. With his archer character, he earned about 200,000 gold per hour from this game. He had already made millions of gold. The issue was, an announcement had just been made about an upcoming large-scale update for Kylan, introducing a new region and 3 new classes. Players enjoying Kylan were thrilled by this news. However, Yan, the orange-haired young man with a thoughtful, almost scheming expression, thought, I shouldn't worry too much about that. If I want a new character, I can just reset my current one, and then I'll grind that character up. Jinung, standing beside him, suggested, let's hunt together and collect rewards until the new region is updated. If you're lucky, maybe you can earn back your tuition money in just one go. What do you think? That was their plan. Pill of Mull, an item that could unlock a hidden class via the class change NPC. In short, it was an extremely valuable item he had luckily obtained. The catch? It was only usable by players level 10 or below who hadn't yet undergone their first class change. Yan ground his teeth in frustration. If he used it, he'd have to recreate his character. But to recreate his character after earning so much money, what should he do? Jinung exclaimed at Yan, calling him an idiot. Are you seriously planning to restart your level 93 Majestic Clumsy Archer? Are you kidding me? That would be such a waste. Your character is currently a top ranker in Korea, in the top 1000 overall and top 100 for archers. Are you really going to throw all that away? Yan retorted, You think I don't know that, Jinung? But this is a chance to unlock one of the first new hidden classes. I can't just throw this item away. The orange-haired young man seriously reminded him, You should really know a bit more about the hidden classes being revealed. Do you know there's already someone in our guild with the sniper class? Jinung replied, I know. I've hunted with him a few times. The orange-haired young man asked, Do you think the sniper class is significantly better than the archer class? Jinung hesitated. Well, there was a pretty big level gap between us, so I'm not sure. But it's definitely more useful than the clumsy archer class. Their range is unbelievably wide, and their single-shot damage is very high. However, rapid firing is quite difficult. I guess the biggest disadvantage is its limitations when surrounded by many monsters. The orange-haired young man agreed. You mean just because it's a hidden class doesn't automatically make it stronger? Jinung said, I know. Hearing this, the orange-haired young man almost lost it. If you know that, why are you still planning to throw away your level 93 character for it? You can easily earn over 1,000,001 a day just hunting with that character. Jinung called out, Yoon Hyun, why do you play this game? Yoon Hyun looked blank. Huh? Because it's fun. Jinung snapped his fingers. Exactly, that's the answer. A new hidden class. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Yoon Hyun was exasperated by his recklessness. All right, go for it. I won't stop you anymore. You idiot. Good luck. Jinung gave a thumbs up. Okay. Back in Kailan, an old man with white hair was sitting on a spread-out mat, selling something. Jinung approached him. The old man asked, What do you need, young man? Jinung told him, I'm looking for a rebirth potion. The old man grinned slyly. Luckily, you've come to the right place. He took out the hot item to show him, saying he'd just acquired it, but he gripped Jinung's hand, which was holding the potion, tightly, making him jump. You know, the old man warned, once you drink this, all your current power will disappear. There's no coming back from it. Jinung gave a smile even more unsettling than the old man's. That's precisely why I'm going to drink it. The most expensive rebirth potion. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll get a better class upon rebirth. I'll earn even more money with this new class. And so, Jinung downed the potion in one gulp. Let's do this. System notification. Your level and stats will be reset. You will be transferred to the Novice Training Center. In the Novice Training area, everyone was arduously practicing with training dummies. Yan had also been training relentlessly for over a day. As a reminder, Yan is Jinung's in-game character name. Onlookers constantly exclaimed they had never seen such an intense training session. Tomorrow was the release day for the large-scale update of the popular VR game. A purple beam of light shone down. After the eye scan was complete, the system announced, Welcome Yan to the world of Kailan. The first thing he needed to do was find the Summoners Guild. After a short search, he found it. It seemed Yan was the first person to arrive. He slowly walked upstairs to meet Guildmaster Ken of the Summoner Class Change Center. Although he was advised that the path of a summoner was not easy and taming monsters was difficult, he still accepted. The Guildmaster had to confirm one more time. Suddenly, Yan took out the Pill of Mole, said to be left behind by a continental hero. The Guildmaster was utterly astonished. Inwardly, Yan urged him to quickly grant him the hidden class. The Guildmaster, realizing Yan was more extraordinary than he'd initially thought, asked a favor of him, to help him catch a blue-eyed wolf in the Ramos Plains. His son wanted it as a summoned beast, but couldn't handle it himself. Yan's eyes widened in surprise. The blue-eyed wolf was a rare level 40 monster, yet he was being assigned this as the very first quest for a level 10 newbie. The Guildmaster handed him 5 magical binding scrolls to capture the wolf, adding that it was just a pup and therefore still weak. System. Quest. Capture the blue-eyed wolf pup. Accepted. Reward. Class. Monster Tamer. Yan felt like he'd struck gold. This was the hidden class he'd been searching for. Tamer. Without delay, he immediately accepted the request and set off. Although Yan's current level was 10, his stats were equivalent to a level 30 character, so this quest shouldn't be overly difficult. When he spotted the wolf standing on a cliff, he saw that contrary to the information, its level was 20. Yan wondered if he could handle it at his current level 10. Closing the system window, he drew his bow and aimed precisely at the wolf lurking on the ledge. Thwack! An arrow shot straight into the wolf, making it roar in anger. Yan slowly approached. His bow and arrow began to emit a faint blue glow. Suddenly, Yan remembered he had to capture it alive. But that last arrow was probably enough to send the wolf to the afterlife. While he was lost in thought with his eyes closed, the wolf pounced from behind, its eyes glaring fiercely, teeth bared, growling as it swung its sharp claws at Yan. Suddenly, Yan delivered a gentle interactive punch to the wolf that nearly dislocated its jaw. The wolf, feeling wronged, had tears welling up in its eyes, adopting a pitiful expression. The way it looked now, compared to the legendary blue-eyed wolf, it was as if they weren't even the same species. He switched tactics. No longer using his bow, he applied the law of his right hand, i.e., punched it, for a few more interactions, sending the wolf rolling on the ground. It looked as if it was seeing its ancestors on the other side. Despite restraining himself, Jan still failed in his attempts to use the binding scroll to capture the wolf alive. He had no choice but to let it recover a bit, fatten it up, before punching it again. He couldn't let it die. The wolf was now crying profusely, its current life seemingly over. Having spent too much time, he had to quickly return to the guild and hand over the binding scroll, containing the barely alive wolf, to the guildmaster. The guildmaster was extremely surprised to see Jan had completed the quest. It was well known that the first quest for the Tamare class usually ended in failure. The guildmaster hurriedly told Jan that the ordinary Tamare class wasn't suitable for him and proposed he become a master, a taming master. He had never heard of a class quest that could be set up like this. This class was even higher than a regular Tamare. Jan didn't hesitate and accepted, embarking on the path to becoming the very first taming master. A purple aura of power emanated from Jan, spreading like a wave around the building, marking a significant milestone. He had officially become a taming master. He opened his system window. First, I'll tame the red wolf mentioned in the tutorial, he thought, a mysterious smile playing on his lips as he began to strategize. I'll become the strongest, the very first, with this class. In a desolate wasteland, colossal rocks jutted out like mountains. The entire surrounding landscape was nothing but dry, barren earth. The sight made him feel a sense of foreboding, as if crows were circling overhead. He then noticed a group of summoners stalking a red wolf. When they realized his presence, they started whispering, "Looks like someone has already changed to the new class." He stood behind this crowd, his interest piqued. Maybe I should just stand here and see how they do it. The summoners joined forces, unleashing various types of magic, but all their efforts failed. No one could capture the red wolf. Witnessing this, he silently felt fortunate. It's best if I catch a monster, I find myself first. Jan decided to leave that place to explore his hunting capabilities in this mysterious world. With my current stats, he wondered, how many wolves can I catch? Seeing a pack of wolves slinking by, he was determined to find out. Soon after, he quickly drew his bow, his spirits high, focusing on his target. As time passed and the sun reached its zenith, Jan had his first success. Opening the system window, Jan examined the stats of the first wolf he caught. It was a level 12 wolf with a timid personality, which made him feel a bit helpless. Monsters have personalities too, huh? As he continued to explore, the image of a second wolf appeared, startling him. If the previous one looked clueless, the image of this one on the screen radiated ferocity, its eyes full of defiance. He realized then that monsters of the same level could have different stats. With the excitement of an explorer, Jan decided to hunt more wolves to see which among them had the highest stats. I'll just hunt wolves all day today. Then. However, his frustration gradually grew as he realized that the stats of the other wolves were not as good as he had hoped. Just then, the system unexpectedly announced that his critical stat had increased by 1. A feeling of elation surged through him again when the system announced, "You have achieved the title, Wolf Expert, for capturing a large number of wolves. This title allows you to identify high-level wolves without needing to capture them." Filled with exhilaration, he exuded confidence. A magic circle with a star, like something out of Cardcaptor Sakura, appeared in his eyes, initiating an analysis function. His eyes scanned, and the stats of each wolf appeared clearly. Finally, his gaze settled on a wolf with gray-black fur and blazing red, bloodthirsty eyes. Their eyes met. Instead of the romantic notion of just wanting to gaze at you for a long, long time. Like in a song, it growled as if challenging him. Oblivious to its own limitations, it charged. Its end was pathetic. It was beaten so badly it was unrecognizable. "Good. Looks like you know your place now," he said with satisfaction, then immediately cast the capture magic. Looking at the stats of such a prime wolf, he couldn't help but drool and grin foolishly like a child seeing candy. What was noteworthy was that this wolf was no ordinary one. It had growth potential, while the system displayed cannot grow for the others. He had identified his target and decided to release the other wolves, focusing solely on training Lai, the name he had just given it. Kneeling before Lai, he smiled gently like a proud father. "And from this moment on, the wolf's name is confirmed. From now on, your name is Lai." Hearing its new name, Lai looked up, its eyes shining brightly as if it had just eaten its favorite food. The system also confirmed. Lai seems to like its name. Lai's loyalty has increased by 5. Master and pet looked at each other and grinned foolishly, like children who had just discovered something wonderful. He was quite surprised. "There's a loyalty stat too?" The dazed moment passed. Now, he and Lai advanced with the cool demeanor of two heroes. "Time to hunt, Lai," he exclaimed, and Lai responded with a majestic growl. In a modern high-rise building, the air was so tense it felt like it could be cut with a knife. "Our Lotus Guild has weakened since Jinong left," Yoon Hyun said, sitting in front of his computer, talking to someone. "He said he's changing his class to Summoner. I don't know what he plans to do with it. When is he coming back, anyway?" "Summoner?" Is its combat proficiency really that good? His eyes scanned posts criticizing the game, sweat beading on his forehead, his mind full of questions. One post expressed a summoner player's frustration about how slowly the class leveled up, accompanied by many negative comments. Behind the screen, even Hun felt defeated for Jinung. He had recreated his character because of this. Ultimately, he thought their complaints were valid. At that moment, he also silently predicted it'll probably be a long time before he reaches level 20 and rejoins the guild. Meanwhile, in Kalen, the sky was dark, as if painted with streaks of brilliant purple. The light from someone's explosive power spread across half the sky. It was Yan. He and his wolf fought relentlessly without pause. The system announced, "You have activated Blessing of the Wind. Speed will increase by 37%. Just as an arrow was loosed, Lai dashed forward and attacked the fox. It took the opportunity to lunge, opening its mouth wide and using its sharp teeth to bite into the target's back. For now, the red fox was injured and wouldn't be able to fight Lai at full strength, especially with the support of its capable partner. Jinung had seen that its level and stats were even lower than the red fox's, yet it charged in without a trace of fear. Was it because of its personality? At this point, I guess I'll lend it a hand. All right, you did well. Such simple praise was enough to make it overjoyed. It combined its twin swords, referring to its fangs or claws, in a flurry with the arrow he shot to finish off the red fox. You have defeated a red fox. Received 265 XP. Summoned beast Lai has also received 265 XP. From this result, Jinung realized, so our XP is split evenly. I should level Lai up to at least level 15. All right, time to grind some more. The two of them, master and pet, sat side by side, acting very affectionately. Lai even gently touched his hand. You have activated the basic training skill. Cooldown, 35 minutes. No wonder it's being so obedient. Summoned beast Lai's understanding of the summoner's commands will be improved by about 10%. The potential of the summoned beast will increase through training. Current potential of summoned beast Li 65. Wherever Jinung threw an object, Lai would immediately run to fetch it. It was indeed useful. You have activated first aid. Summoned beast Lai has recovered 45 HP. Lai had to lie still while Jinung bandaged its entire body. It looked so pitiful. You've been my master for a little too long now, huh? And finally, after all that work, summoned beast Lai reached level 15. The power it emitted looked truly eye-catching. However, this level up was much slower than Jinung had thought. Perhaps it's because the XP is shared? But training Lai felt really interesting. It became stronger each time it leveled up. Jinung sat beside Lai, gently stroking its fur, and Lai enjoyed it. Lai, should we go hunt some bears? All right, time to head to a new hunting ground. These two, master and pet, were quite in sync. They arrived at a new land where many black bears were gathered in one area. Skill proficiency has increased. Basic summoning is now level 2. You have received 3 skill points. You have learned the active skill, Wild Warrior's Blessing. You have learned the skill, Basic Tactics. Jinung felt satisfied with this. All that hard work really paid off. Let's see what these skills can do. Wild Warrior's Blessing. Skill type, active. Skill level, unskilled, 0. Mana. Cost, 150. Can apply the Wild Warrior's Blessing to self and party members for about 20 minutes. Increases attack power by up to 30%. When applied to a summoned beast, the effect increases by up to 100%. After reading every line on the system, he thought, this buff skill looks pretty good. Next, what's this Basic Tactics? The system then introduced it. Basic Tactics, skill type, passive. Skill level, unskilled, 0. The summoner's leadership stat and taming technique stat are increased by 10%. In battle, summoned beasts will more easily understand their master's commands. Reading this message, he rejoiced inwardly. If my leadership stat increases by 10%, I might be able to tame a bear. Let's try taming these black bears. Is there any bear as strong as Lai here? After Jinung decided to tame it, the bear suddenly froze, standing on its hind legs. Success. Thanks to Basic Tactics, my leadership stat has increased a lot. Let's compare its stats with Lai's. Looking at the displayed numbers, he was bewildered, wondering, is Lai really a wolf? And this can't evolve part? I wonder when it can evolve. Let's summon this bear out. He gently touched his beloved wolf. Rested well, Lai? It's hunting time. Together they used Blessing of the Wind and Wild Warrior's Blessing and charged down. Lai, draw that bear's attention. With Lai's nimble speed, it easily bit into the bear's ear. Blood splattered everywhere as it roared in pain. This speed was so fast, it seemed as if there were 3 wolves. The black bear couldn't keep track. From the sidelines, Jinung praised Li, motivating it. Good attack, Lai. Keep it up. This basic training skill is too good. At the same time, Jinung began to aim his bow. Lai could completely understand the fighting style he wanted. In an instant, the bear was dead. They had subdued it. Summoned beast Lai has reached level 19. Awesome! However, he still wanted his Lai to develop even faster. Currently, leveling up was slowing down. If I keep hunting like this, I should also do quests to level up to 20. That's enough for today. As a gamer, one needed a reasonable plan. It was getting dark. Jinung returned to his room, showered, and washed his hair. Before going to bed, he had to check the online community forums. I bet there are a lot of losers trash-talking online. Some were complaining, others didn't believe it. Summoner is a scam. XP gain is so damn slow. Summoned beasts aren't strong at all. After reading some of the comments, he wondered, why are there so many negative comments? It's true that summoners level up slowly, but why so many complaints? Are all these reviews from people who have reached level 15? Summoner skills require reaching that level or higher to be usable. When he checked, there was no one. He was now level 20. There should have been many people who had reached level 15 by now, but there was no one at all. Confusion piled on confusion. Oh, there's someone at level 13. I should read carefully. Their taming skill, Blessing of the Wind, and First Aid were quite similar to his. Regarding the possession section. Possession. Skill type, active. Skill level, 1. Proficiency, 55%. Can possess the soul of one of the monsters you have tamed. 30% of the possessed monster's soul stats will be added to the summoner's stats. The possessed monster cannot be summoned during combat. Jinung pondered. He himself didn't have this cool skill. This skill is pretty neat. It's the only way for a summoner to survive. And because this skill doesn't share the XP I receive with the summoned beast, leveling up is very fast. He wondered, how can you even fight while in the body of your pet? It's not like the stats are transferred 100%, right? If you do that, you can't level up your summoned beast. That's the best part of being a summoner. He felt a pang of regret for not having this skill yet, but on second thought, he didn't really want it that much. The skills of a normal summoner seemed different from his. So let's see if there are any skills that normal summoners don't have. He wanted to be special again, to have something others didn't. While relaxing and having a drink, it suddenly dawned on him. Ah, right, it's basic training. There isn't much information, but from what I found, taming masters have fewer combat skills than normal summoners. However, raising a summoned beast to become stronger feels much more rewarding. This means Jinung is on the right track. Tomorrow, he planned to try and catch a new monster that was both rare and unique. The clock now showed 4 o'clock a.m. He was cooped up inside Kalen to grind levels. I'll level Lei up to 20 before myself. After a long night, he finally finished. All right, Lai, let's go. The next day, they continued hunting. Wild Warrior's Blessing activated. Basic training activated. Skill, target weak point activated. They still used their well-coordinated old tactics. Jinung would stand in front to shoot arrows, and Lai would follow up with an attack. You have defeated an Asian black bear. The Asian black bear, despite its ferocious appearance, was all bark and no bite. It just roared, but couldn't do much damage. Perhaps it was because Lai had become much stronger. Not long after, they received 545 XP. This time, finishing off a monster was much faster than he had imagined. I used to hunt here when I was a level 35 archer. The hunting speed is even faster than before. I didn't expect that just 5 more levels would make such a clear difference. One man and one wolf continued to hunt without any fatigue. But as he observed, he noticed one over there standing on 2 legs. It was bigger than the others. He immediately used his probe skill and learned it had a different name. Shadow Bear. It was a unique, rare beast. Damn it! Jinung was wary, wondering if he could catch it. He suddenly remembered he had released the other bear earlier, so his leadership stat was still too low to catch this one. Perhaps, after this incident, my determination to level up will be even higher. Next time I go back to town, I'll buy a bunch of new soul contract scrolls. Ignoring the large bear, he and Lai continued to fight other ones. Lai's combat stats were almost on par with his now, so a level 38 beast was nothing. The 2 beasts clashed, but Lai's speed was clearly evident. In a heartbeat, it defeated the shadow bear. At the end of the battle, he received 1045 XP, and Lai had reached level 20. Jinung was quite proud and confident in his beast's abilities. Awesome! After reaching level 20, you can participate in everything in Kalen, like joining guilds, dungeon quests, or labyrinths. There are also many quests that require level 20. He checked the system mail to see what items he had received. Received Asian black bear meat, bear hunter's battle axe, undying shadow necklace. Of the 3 items, he pointed to the second one and said, "Never seen this item before. Time to use an appraisal scroll." He then checked the abilities of the necklace. Undying shadow necklace. Rank, unique. Requirement, intelligence 35 or higher. Durability, 124, 124. Options, stamina plus 15%. Skill, cooldown. Reduction, 20%. An unidentifiable necklace. created containing a darkness like the abyss. It is a valuable and rare item. Jinung felt very happy knowing its value. I got a pretty good necklace from the auction house, but this one is much better. He even arrogantly praised his own luck. Regarding items, I have no complaints right now. Let's see how much Lai's stats have increased. Attack increased by 4, defense by 2. But when he looked at its speed, he was utterly shocked. What is this? Do monsters become stronger when they level up? No, this is unreasonable. Its growth rate is not normal. This definitely isn't a coincidence. He was determined to find out the reason. While he was anxiously trying to find an answer, his pet just sat beside him, grinning foolishly. Then a spark lit up in his eyes. Could it be Lai's potential? He stared intently at Lai. The answer was the potential stat. The basic training skill had increased Lai's potential. Each time the potential stat increased by 10, the growth rate of its stats also increased. I knew it. The basic training skill was bugged. I was right. Hidden classes also have their own unique skills. All monsters also have their own potential stat, and it determines their growth rate when leveling up. In other words, a monster's class increases on its own due to its potential, and the training skill is what increases it. From these deductions, Jinung decided to spend all his remaining skill points on basic training. Basic training has leveled up to 5 and upgraded to intermediate training. Intermediate training? Skill type, active. Skill level, 0, unskilled. Cooldown, 25 minutes. Select one pet to enter training mode for 15 minutes. A summoned beast in training mode will better understand its master's commands. The potential of the summoned beast will increase by repeating the training mode. The potential points will increase the level of the intermediate training skill. After reading the information, he felt it was lucky he had saved his skill points instead of trying to catch that bear. It was such a relief to have uncovered that big mystery. So Lai's potential was now 94. It would reach 100 soon. Looking back at the clock, he wasn't pleased at all that he had wasted nearly an hour just to find the answer. Jinung and Lai stood up again, preparing to gain more experience as quickly as possible. It seemed he hadn't eaten anything all morning, so he picked up a delicious-looking sandwich. If I had put this much effort into studying, I'd probably be a lawyer or a doctor by now. At this point, he had returned home to do some research on his computer. Oh, a video about a night witch. The skeletons look kind of cute, I guess. Ugh, he was praising something creepy. Jinung mentally face-palmed at his contradictory thoughts. He kept reading and reading, then discovered many strange things. Huh? Besides Yoon Hyun from the call center, who else would be calling me? He checked and saw it was an unknown number, but answered it anyway to see who was on the other end. Hello, is this Jinung's number? My name is Lee Jun, a teaching assistant in the virtual reality department at Korea University. Do you know Professor Lee Jin-guk? Jinung answered frankly. Of course I do. He's the head lecturer of the department. Suddenly, Lee Jun wanted him to contact the professor, which confused Jinung and made him want to know the reason. Then the assistant said, I think it's because of your grades. He felt like his head was about to explode and tears welled up. Am I on academic probation? Seeing the situation becoming increasingly unstable, and it was already late, he couldn't rest and still had to deal with this. Ma'am, what will happen if I don't call the professor? He said he'll send your grades via mail, and of course not to your private email address. Jinung's face turned pale. Sweat, both big and small drops, trickled down. He bit his lip, worried. If Dad sees my grades, I'm doomed. In his mind, he could already picture his father's dark, scowling face and hear his ominous voice. I am very disappointed in you, son. Just imagining it made him shudder. I might get dragged back home while I'm still enjoying my youth. Therefore, he decided to call the professor. The assistant scheduled a meeting with him for the next semester, and also silently wished him luck in overcoming this ordeal. Jinung hurriedly found the professor's number to contact him. Hello, Professor. This is Jinung. I heard you were looking for me. What can I do for you? Is it because of my grades? The professor replied decisively, That's right. Is everything all right? Why haven't you participated in any department activities? And how did you end up on academic probation in your very first semester? You only have 2 Fs so far, and I'm thinking of giving you a 3rd. Jinung was furious that the professor was threatening him. What the hell does he want from me? Though angry, he had to control his temper over the phone. What should I do, Professor? First, tell me why you haven't participated in department activities. He thought carefully before giving a satisfactory answer. I can't say it's because I was busy playing games. What should I say? Ah, got it. Professor, you know, the reason I chose the virtual reality major is because I admire the infinite potential of virtual reality. One of the reasons virtual reality is at the center of global attention is because of the game Kalen, right? So I thought I had to dive into the lion's den by playing this game. The professor immediately shot back. You mean you skipped classes because you were busy playing games all day? Jinung quickly retorted, It's not just about playing games, Professor. I want to learn about the wonders of the virtual world within Kalen. Because he used this excuse, The professor also became curious and asked, "What level are you then? If you play that much, you should at least be in the top rankings in Korea, right?" Hearing this question, he felt a twinge of regret. Damn it, if only I hadn't reset. Well, it's like this, Professor. I was originally level 93, but I recently reset my character, so now I'm level 20. The professor found that amusing. Do you think I'm an idiot? You think I don't know you're saying that to avoid trouble? Jinung knew very well he was indeed trying to avoid trouble, but it was a desperate situation. So would you like to make a bet with me, Professor? A bet on whether I'm telling the truth. I will try to reach level 93 before the new semester begins. If I can go from level 20 to level 93 within the specified time, wouldn't that prove I was level 93 from the start? Lee Jin-guk completely agreed with him. That's right, absolutely. Personally, I'm quite interested in Kalen too. If you succeed, I won't put you on academic probation, but if you fail, not only will you be on academic probation, but your parents will also receive your grades for this semester and the next, and you'll have to participate in our department's activities. It was a bit difficult, but this was also an opportunity for Jinung to turn things around. Ah, right, but if I win the bet, you'll give me A's in all your classes, whether I attend or not. The professor, thinking Jinung couldn't possibly do it, readily accepted. Hearing this benefit, his eyes lit up. You promised to keep your word, Professor. Thank you, Professor. I'll do my best. Time was running out. Lai will have to work even harder. Anyway, the original plan was to get back to his old level before the vacation ended, and he had avoided academic probation for the first semester, so this was great. I'll get A's without having to attend classes. I can definitely do it. First, he went to join the Lotus Guild. However, he was currently only level 20, and the Lotus Guild prioritized players with 3 times his current level. Level 60. Although the guild manager could submit a join request for Jinung, he thought he wouldn't be accepted. Do you still want to proceed? Jinung, regardless, stuck to his original intention. He still wanted to join. I'm best friends with the guild leader and also close with the main members, so there shouldn't be any problem. The manager had submitted the join request for him. He would be automatically registered as soon as the guild leader accepted. All right, I foresaw this, so I already private messaged Hyun to get him to approve it, right? But he's offline now. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I'm not in a hurry anyway. He'll accept it eventually. Next up was the auction house. He was going to change all his equipment. This was the prerogative of a wealthy new player. He would switch to the best equipment suitable for his current stats. The bonus stat points for the summoner class weren't added to melee combat, but to stats that helped with summoning, like taming. In the future, he would gradually rely more on his summoned beasts. Jinung was still pondering if there was anything that could increase his summoning stats, like something that chants for power. He observed each weapon on display. Suddenly, he saw Mother Nature's headband. Durability, 224, 224. Defense, 24. Option, stamina, plus or 25%. Type, head accessory. Rank, heroic. Item level, requirement, 25. This was a weapon with special abilities. Summoned beast stamina would increase by 20% and their combat power by 15%. Summoned beast's chance to dodge projectiles increased by 15%. This thing is amazing. He excitedly chose to buy it. It cost 150,000 gold. Items for the summoner class were finally starting to be sold. Even though he was currently using this item, he still had many unanswered questions. Wait, perhaps other items bearing the Mother Nature name are also for summoners? Therefore, he quickly searched for items related to this. Mother Nature also had other special items, like Mother Nature's staff, combat power 150 to 165, durability 201, 201, option, wisdom 21%, leadership 35. This was also a head accessory, heroic rank, item level requirement 20, strength plus 40, charisma plus 20, summoned beast's combat power increased by 35%, summoned beast's critical hit chance increased by 15%. Now it's time for a tougher choice. A dilemma. I use a bow, a staff, huh? And then he bought it too, knowing he couldn't use a bow forever. It was a bit early, but getting used to a different melee style wasn't a bad idea. Holding a staff felt a little strange, but it was fine. Jinung stepped outside and summoned Lai to accompany him. Intermediate training is still active even in town, so I have to use it as soon as the cooldown is over. He looked up at the sky and smiled brightly. Time to find some quests. Walking down the street, everyone's attention was drawn to Jinung. Wow, he's a summoner. Women were impressed, while men, conversely, were envious. This was clearly visible in their jealous eyes. I heard leveling up as a summoner is a pain. I still haven't seen any summoner above level 15. Jinung whispered to Lai, right now, we'll do the Goblin Subjugation quest. I can get double experience for completing this quest, and I'll take all the experience for myself. Looking around, he finally found it, the quest NPC. He approached and waved cheerfully. Lapis, long time no see. But when he greeted him, the NPC's expression was like, "Who the heck is this guy? This NPC will forget me even if I reset, huh?" But luckily, he still remembered him. "Oh, look who it is. Isn't that Yan?" It seemed friendships with NPCs weren't reset. Phew, lucky. Jinung then inquired, "Commander, have the goblins been causing any trouble lately?" Lapis frowned. "I'm struggling with the new goblin camp set up nearby. The subjugation unit doesn't have enough soldiers. Can you recommend some trained mercenaries to me?" Jinung boldly declared, "I intend to help personally." He looked a bit skeptical. "You? Well, that's great, but it would be better if there were more people." He checked the system for some information. Subjugate the goblin camp in Somer Valley. Commander Lapis of the volunteer soldiers in Lucan Village is calling for people to undertake the goblin camp subjugation quest. Join the soldiers and raid the goblin camp. Before making a decision, he suddenly remembered, this is a party quest. Damn it, who can I bring? I don't think there are any newbies around level 40 in the guild. Commander, can you postpone the subjugation time a bit until I can form a party? Lapis was quite easygoing and agreed cheerfully. Of course, I can at least do that. In that case, before then, could you clear out some goblin scouts outside the camp? Eliminate goblin scouts in Somer Valley. Commander Lapis of the volunteer soldiers in Lucan Village is calling for mercenaries to eliminate some goblin scouts before the soldiers make their move. Kill at least 10 goblin scouts and return safely. This also had a difficulty of E, but the reward was only volunteer soldiers' leather armor. Seeing how generous and accommodating he was, Jinung decided he would make a trip and come back. It'll take nearly 30 minutes. Annoying, but I have no other choice. You could say I'm only doing this out of necessity. Let's see, is Eun Hyun Hyatt online? Ah, there they were. Messages were exchanged back and forth. Yoon Hyun, can you accept my guild application? The reply came quickly. You're level 20 already? I've accepted it. How did you get to level 20 so fast? Even dark wizards don't level up that quickly. Jinung created an opportunity for his friend to try and compete. You know me, I'll catch up to you soon. Play a lot, buddy. Sure, level up quickly. Without you, I'm struggling with a lot of things. Since the opportunity arose, Jinung looked for party members. Hey, do you know anyone around level 40 in our guild? Sadly, there wasn't anyone, so he had to take care of it himself. To the guild chat, then. It's better to ask guild members for recommendations first, instead of partying with strangers. Immediately, there was a notification. Ian has joined the guild. I'm back. How's everyone? Biolan was surprised to see him return. You're level 20 already? Lone was also astonished. What? Ian, you're level 20 and joined the guild? Huh? I heard leveling up as a summoner is a pain. Was that all a lie? Jinung didn't want to sound arrogant. Level 20 is nothing. What's the big deal? You should be worried. I'll be back to my old level soon. Biolan suggested, level up quickly. Without you, grinding is too slow. But everyone, if you know any players around level 40, please introduce them to me. They would be surprised if he said he was planning to take on the Goblin Quest at level 20. And then, Jinung still said it. I'm planning to take on the Goblin Camp Subjugation Quest, and I need one more person. Can anyone contribute? It's okay if you can't contribute much, just enter the camp with me. I'll carry that person. A barrage of skeptical questions and doubts arose. Ian, aren't you level 20? How can you do the camp quest at level 20, let alone carry the team? What carry? Aren't you the one who needs carrying in a camp quest? I think he got to level 20 by being carried. You idiot. Do you think with his personality he'd ask to be carried? If he wanted someone to carry him, he would have asked us. Why look for a level 40 person? What do you mean? After level 60, you can't do the camp quest. We can't help him. They argued fiercely after Jinung's request for help, mixed with a bit of disdain for his abilities. I'm level 20, but I was lucky enough to get a summoned beast, so I can still handle the camp quest. It will carry me. Lone felt extremely jealous. Why are you always so lucky? Biolan also didn't quite believe him. There must be some reason why you leveled up to 20 so quickly. At the same time, Guy spoke up. Actually, I have a friend who's level 45, but she created her character with a crafting profession, so her melee combat ability is different. Her combat class is priest, and her crafting class is chef, I think. She's a priest, but she probably can't help much in melee combat. She's not very good at games either. Is that okay? Jinung had to accept. Can you contact us when she's online? He thought to himself, if she fulfills the party member requirement, I don't care about her abilities. I have some things to do, so I'm leaving the chat room. Gaquin, when you contact her, message me. Chatting with guild members was fun, but it was nothing compared to the excitement of hunting and leveling up on the battlefield. I'll quickly complete the quest before hearing from Jin. That same day, Jinung went to a stream and saw a group of leopards drinking water on the opposite side. They are coon, a type of monster, likely leopard-like. It would be so cool if I could catch one. Lai doesn't look very cool or strong. While walking normally, Lai suddenly stopped and refused to go further. He worried, my thoughts probably aren't getting through to it, huh? He had to sit down and speak softly to it. Hey, Lai, do you know how much I love you? But no matter what sweet words he said now, Lai was already angry with him. Then it let out a loud roar, and he discovered Lai was evolving to another level. Now he was more happy than sad. You're finally evolving. But what triggered the evolution? What's the requirement? Potential. Its potential has reached 100. Its appearance will change when it evolves too, right? I hope it gets bigger so I can ride it. It had now become a wolf. Lai had evolved into a blood mane wolf. Due to successful summon beast evolution, proficiency of intermediate training skill has increased. Intermediate training skill has leveled up to Z, 45.7% to next level. You are the first person to successfully evolve a summoned beast. Reputation plus 1000. Charisma and leadership 730. You are the first person to summon a red mane wolf. Reputation plus 1500. Jinung was as happy as if he'd hit the jackpot, continuously petting the red mane wolf. Hey, Lai, I love you so much. Lai, level 20. HP 790, 790. Combat power 235. Defense 97. Agility 215. Type beast. Rank rare. Nature brave. Can evolve. Wisdom 135. Ability inheritance. Reflects 15% of damage taken back to health. If it lands a critical hit, it will receive 50% of the damage dealt as health. If it lands a critical hit, the enemy will bleed. Enemies afflicted with bleed will take an additional 20% damage per second for 10 seconds. A fierce wolf with a mysterious red mane. It has aggressive and violent characteristics. Its rank has changed from common to rare, and it can evolve further. If it evolves again, it might become unique rank. Jinung covered his mouth, chuckling to himself. The summoner class is too OP. Forget those Kun. I don't need them. Even if I had a whole cartload of Kun, my Lai is the best. Yes. He had always been proud of owning it. Lai, do you think you can carry me on your back? It lowered itself so Jinung could easily climb on. Lai, run! Its movement speed was also very fast, even when carrying a heavy load on its back. In no time, they had both arrived at Somer Valley. Having just arrived, there was nothing particularly special, so Jinung felt quite relaxed, partly because he didn't have to expend effort walking. Kalen makes these features so realistic. The quest was to kill 10 Goblin Scouts. With Lai evolving to be so cool, I can't just let it be. Lai, let's go all out. And so Jinung activated Blessing of the Wind for it. Agility increased by 37%. Summoned Beast Lai's agility stat increased by 37%. At the same time, he also activated Blessing of Berserk. Combat power stat increased by 33%. Summoned Beast Lai's combat power stat increased by 66%. In front of them were strange green creatures holding weapons. Lai, you see those 3 loitering goblins over there? Attack them first. I'll provide support from behind. This time he wasn't using a bow, so he couldn't stick to his old fighting style. Lai, buffed like this, won't be weaker than any goblin. I'm sure of it. Lai's melee combat will be much stronger than those normal ones, and it even has 2 passive inheritance abilities. But we can't be too complacent. So Jinung activated. Identify weak point. Enemy's weak point detected. Accuracy increased by 14.5%. Critical hit chance increased by 22.5%. Attacking a weak point deals an additional 91% damage. The way Lai roared looked so majestic, it terrified the goblins. Wolf, a red wolf. A wolf is attacking. Summoned Beast Lai deals a critical hit to Goblin Scout. Goblin Scout loses 1075 HP. Remaining HP, 89%. Goblin Scout is bleeding and loses 215 HP per second. And finally, it died from bleeding. After killing just one, he received 127 experience points. Its demise was so fast it came as a shock to Jinung. What is this? How can a level 40 monster die in one hit? The remaining 2 goblins growled angrily. This time they teamed up to attack Lai. It seemed a bit tougher, and Lai got hit by one of its clubs, in pain. Summoned Beast Li was hit by a Goblin Scout and lost 294 HP. Thanks to that, Lai's attacks became stronger and stronger. It wasn't willing to be beaten like that, and it dealt 495 damage to a Goblin Scout. 15% damage, 75, 73, then 76 HP recovered. The last one's face turned pale with fear, sweat pouring down as it witnessed Lai's power and saw its comrades fall one by one. Critical hit, 50% damage, 523 HP recovered. After a short battle, Lai completed the task without any significant losses, except for taking one hit from them. Jinung sincerely thanked Lai for carrying him. It lowered its head, nuzzling him affectionately, looking very cute. Just 3 isn't enough. We both have to kill 7 more to officially finish this. Let's do it again, Lai. He was very relaxed, just lying under a tree, humming a tune, while all the hard work was left to Wolf Lai. At that moment, Jinung's friend sent a message. Are you online? Can we talk now? To avoid any unforeseen consequences, he temporarily told Lai to stop. You probably guessed. My friend contacted me. She's online. She also accepted your invitation. Her name is Heron. You should greet her first. But is it really okay? You should anticipate her melee combat capabilities, or else. Jinung felt a little sad. He doesn't understand me. Hey, don't worry. I was just soloing in Somer Valley. I'm coming out now. Hearing this, his friend was quite surprised. Somer Valley? Where's that? Isn't that the goblin camp? You cleared them out alone? Yeah, that's right. I was hunting goblin scouts at the Vanguard camp. I just leveled up 5 times. His friend couldn't believe he could do it. Are you cheating or using a bug? Be careful. You might get banned and then cry about it. If that was truly Jinung's strength, he would surely catch up to his friends quickly. He had set a goal to reach level 100 in 2 months, level 50 in 15 days, level 80 in the next 15 days, and level 100 in the remaining month. I will win this bet at all costs. If not, the consequences will be severe. Actually, the bet with the professor might be more beneficial for me. Guy's friend's name was Heron. He searched for her name and proactively sent a message first. Hello, are you Guy's friend? Unexpectedly, she replied immediately, perhaps also waiting for his message. Hello, yes, that's right. Nice to meet you. She was currently in Lucan Village, repairing equipment at the blacksmith. Jinung arranged to meet her, telling her to stay put and that he would be there in 10 minutes. Indeed, if he wanted to, he would go find her himself. Hello, I'm Yan. She turned her face, offering a friendly smile and a sweet voice. Hello, I'm Heron. I've heard a lot about you from Jen, Guy. Jinung simply thought of her as Guy's friend, but according to Heron, she felt more like his older sister. I'm all set, so I can accept the quest whenever you're ready. How about you? Seeing Heron's preparedness and spirit, Jinung also felt good. I'm ready too. Is there a special reason you're doing this camp quest? Yes, there's a quest I want to do that can only be done after completing the camp quest. It's a quest from Duke Chepin's chef, but to enter the Duke's castle, I have to complete this quest first. Jinung was startled because, looking at it, the 2 tasks seemed completely unrelated. Chef? What kind of quest from a chef? Heron's crafting profession was chef. When Heron mentioned this, Jinung remembered Guy had told him her crafting profession was chef. That's right, I majored in culinary arts, even in the real world. He seemed quite interested and wanted to know more about this. I heard crafting professions are very difficult to manage, but if you specialize in culinary arts, it must be a bit easier. After talking for a while, it turned out they both had similar interests. In Kalen, real-world talents often influence crafting professions. They couldn't waste too much time. They walked and talked. You're the first person I know who's a chef. When I get a chance, can I taste your cooking? Heron was delighted. Of course. After walking for a while, they met Lapis. He was also surprised. Oh, you found a new member. I thought it would be a bit difficult for 2 people, but I understand your abilities, Yan, so I'll entrust it to you. The Vanguard unit has just left. If you hurry, you might be able to catch up. Follow and assist them. Subjugate the Goblin camp in Somir Valley. Commander Lapis of the volunteer soldiers in Lucan Village is calling for assistance with the Goblin camp subjugation quest. Join the Vanguard unit and raid the Goblin camp. After reading it, Jinung frowned and sighed. The quest changed a bit because we were late, but the reward is still the same. Lucky. He glanced over and asked Heron if she had received the quest. Preparing to set off for battle, Jinung summoned Lai, inadvertently startling Heron. It's okay. It's my summoned beast, not a monster. She then had an interested thought. If you can summon beasts, then you are a summoner. But that class was just released a few days ago. How are you already doing this Goblin camp quest? He comfortably explained briefly to her. It was luck. This wolf is really overpowered. I leveled up quickly and can deal with goblins easily. It was a terrible excuse, but if I tell her I'm level 25, she won't want to party with me. Heron seemed to understand a little, but it was all a lie. She was level 45, but she would still run if she encountered even one goblin scout. The way Heron answered so honestly surprised Jinung. Does this girl really believe what I'm saying? She believes me? He then tried to smooth things over. Everyone is different. You focus mainly on crafting, and cooking is a useful skill, but the game hasn't fully developed its potential to utilize it yet. Even if she focuses on crafting, how did she get to level 45 when she can't even beat a goblin scout? Being recognized for her unique talent, Heron also felt happy inwardly. Thank you. I still prefer cooking to hunting, so I'm fine with it. This wolf is really cool. I've never seen this type of wolf before. He was absolutely confident that Lai was the only one of its kind on the entire server. Heron curiously asked, "What's its name?" "Its name is Lai. You can also call it Lai." Heron seemed to really like it, constantly praising it. She offered Lai a plate of beef to enjoy. Seeing the delicious food and its aroma made Jinung want to fight Lai for it. "What's this? A steak covered in sauce? It looks so delicious. I want one too." Summoned beast Lai has eaten smoked steak. HP plus 200 for 20 minutes. Eating a piece of meat unexpectedly increases its power too. Did Lai's abilities just increase due to Heron's food effect? Indeed it was. My skills have improved, so it also depends on the rank of the food, but it will buff the eater for a certain period. Lai's 1400 HP is a bit low. An extra 200 is a super strong buff. From now on, maintaining a close relationship with Heron will be very beneficial. After finishing eating, Lai even stuck its tongue out to tease Jinung, making him angrily shout, "Are you having fun eating alone, you wolf?" Seeing his pet have something he didn't, he also asked, "Do you have anything for me?" Heron held up an empty plate and smiled. "Not right now. I'll cook something even more delicious after the quest, so don't be jealous, okay?" Jinung sadly squatted down, turning his back, not wanting to talk to anyone, just using his finger to doodle on the ground. But when he heard this, he immediately turned back and emphasized, "You promise, okay?" Would this action make Heron scared of his personality? But whatever, he had his reasons. In Sommer Valley, the men of Captain Hugo's subjugation team were also present in large numbers. They wore armor and carried shields, looking very impressive. Jinung and Heron had also arrived. "Oh, you are the new mercenaries. Each of you will be a great help to this mission. Thank you for coming all this way." They behaved very politely and gratefully. Jinung replied seriously, "I'm only doing my duty, sir." Luckily, they weren't late. Otherwise, who knows what the effects would have been. Are those other people players? Is their day going badly? They don't look comfortable, just moping around, and their eyes look so scared. Oh well, it's not my business. We're fighting different battles anyway. The number of soldiers present here was very large, lined up neatly, preparing for battle. The goblins were also standing in a horde, growling on the opposite side, not afraid at all. Captain Hugo, the leader, spoke decisively. "Today, we will annihilate all goblins in Somor Valley. Soldiers, advance! Do not retreat or give up at this crucial moment. The battle will end if we kill him." The morale of the allies had now increased by 30%. All abilities increased by 10% for 20 minutes. Jinung and Lai once again engaged in fierce combat. The leader's jaw dropped in amazement at his strength. "What? You're just a hide subjugated by humans." In an instant, Lai pounced, clawing a few times, and dealt a critical hit to the Goblin Chieftain. Goblin Chieftain's HP decreased by 1215, equivalent to 0.7% of total HP reduced. Goblin Chieftain's HP will decrease by 243 HP per second for 10 seconds. Seeing the situation begin to look favorable, Hugo, feeling he had a chance to win, shouted to motivate everyone, "Right now, focus your attacks on him." In this final moment, everyone concentrated their attacks solely on the leader. Goblin Chieftain's HP reduced by 30% of total HP. And then it entered a berserk state after being beaten to a pulp, like a mangy dog. The goblin, breathing fire, attacked, making everyone scream and scatter like startled birds. What's happening all of a sudden? It's fire! Frightened, they dodged. Jinung quickly dodged the blow, but was still hit by the chain explosion, taking 684 damage. He lost his balance and fell flat on his face.